Well, yeah. So I want you to imagine a scene. You're told to approach an individual. They're potentially hostile and they're clearly doing something wrong. Your heart rate spikes, you start to breathe a little bit faster, and to quote a popular poet, your arms are sweaty, your knees are weak, and arms are heavy, and there's vomit on your sweater already. How do you feel? What would you do in this situation? Now, there's a split second that you have to make a decision. And that split second, most people make one of two decisions. They have the fight or flight reaction. Fight, either they overreact and they become physical, become angry, and their emotions get the best of them. Or flight, they will they will freeze or maybe run away. But in my line of work, that's where the real job begins. So first of all, I want to thank the panel for having me on today. My name is Benjamin, and I'm a respiratory care student going to Antelope Valley College. And I'm currently working as a safety specialist for a mental and behavioral health clinic. So, in the last 5 years, my career has been built on high stakes environments of retail, property management, homeless shelters, and currently urgent care. I'm here today because I feel that I'm the best candidate to be the manager for the safety and crisis management team. And what makes me the best candidate are my specialized skills, my versatility, and the experience that I've had for the few years that I've been doing this. These are the three pillars and the three reasons that I view myself as the best candidate. So, the first thing is the skills that I have. So let's talk about that. We often think of safety and security as being physical, someone who's maybe strong or maybe someone who knows how to defend themselves. But effective communication is my primary tool instead of being the physical tools. So it's all about respect. When you approach someone and you talk to them with respect, you approach them as sir or ma'am, or even ask them what their name is and address them by such, you're more likely to get the result that you want from the person. And it's all about reading body language and active listening. And most importantly is having empathy. A lot of times when I've had to talk to someone, just listening to what they have to say and telling them, I'm sorry to hear what you're going through, or, maybe giving them a little bit of advice, or even just letting them know that I've gone through similar things, it definitely helps out a lot. And so my expertise in crisis de-escalation is about using what I call Q-tip. It's an acronym. Q-tip stands for quit taking it personally. Now, sometimes somebody may be angry, not necessarily at you or something that you did, but maybe something that they're going through, or maybe just they might be embarrassed by the situation. So that active listening and not taking it personally and remaining calm, it ensures that the situation stays calm and everybody around stays calm as well. And also, other skills I have skills, in security, also in CPR as well, and also also knowing how to use things like handcuffs and how to effectively put them on. So those are skills that I possess. But those skills don't matter if you don't know when to use them and don't know how to use them. So the second reason is the versatility that I have. I've worked in different settings. Like I said, retail, worked for Macy's doing asset protection, worked for property management, securing private property areas, worked in homeless shelters, and now working at a mental and behavioral urgent care center. So one thing this has taught me is that you have to expect the unexpected. No 2 days are alike and no two people are alike. There's not a one size fits all reaction when it comes to people. So knowing when to use that proper reaction is definitely very important. So another thing is that you have to know when to use communication or maybe use a more hands-on approach. Maybe you might have to detain someone, or maybe you might have to restrain someone. Using those two skills, definitely helps you know what outcome that you're going to get. And so this versatility is not necessarily just something that people are born with or they just have. It's something that's taught through experience. So, like I said, brief resume. I've worked in retail environments, worked in property management, worked in mental health urgent care centers. There have been times where I've had to approach someone, and it's a scary experience. But having being able to communicate with the person and talk them down is very, very important. And there's other times, like I said, where I've had to use a hands-on approach, and also my eye for detail is. Definitely one of the biggest skills that I have. I recognize faces, recognize patterns, behaviors, recognize even the vehicles that people come in sometimes. Those are all things that a security guard or somebody who's managing should definitely be aware of. Now, some might see my resume and then say, well, you have experience in security, but not necessarily management. So even though this is true, never been a manager, I've still had to lead the team and lead individuals in times of crisis or in times of when there's no leader, no other manager available. And oftentimes people look to me first when there's a crisis or there's an emergency. So I definitely know how to calm down an environment and how to make people feel safe. And also communication, not just with the team or with the individual, but maybe with law enforcement or maybe telling people, oh, we have an individual doing this, or maybe we have an individual doing that. It's definitely a skill that I've had to use too as well. So to conclude, I've always felt that people are more important than materials. We can replace materials. We can even replace the brand name. We can get our PR back, good PR back. But the people are the most important thing. So my skills, experience, expertise, and versatility make me the best candidate. I want to thank you all for your time and I hope to hear from you.